Number one, talent. We have a very, very young population. Did you know that I think about half of us in Uganda are below 18 years old? That's a lot of potential, right? Number two, part of that talent is that most of us are in one way or the other tech savvy. Even here, I don't know if there's anyone, even with Kabiriti, that's still technology to some level, right? Our education system is actually generally good. We are English speaking. And from a cultural perspective, most of us watch American movies and all those things. So we do have that cultural context. Number two, big pillar, infrastructure. We still have work to do, but generally we have enough. We have some compute. I didn't think we brought someone from Raxio, but we have like a tier 3 data center because you need compute, like you need actual computers to do the computations for AI. From an energy perspective, which is electricity, I know it is not as reliable, but that's a starting point. We have an office in Gulu. I can tell you that since 2008, we are operating. So there's electricity, internet is also there. So if in Gulu, you are still able to do this work for these companies, it's also surely possible. And then the last one is around business environment. We already have some policies in place, and of course we have lots of investments from companies like Sama. Now, that is for the students. I know we have some people here from industry, and they might be wondering, what are at least for us, having been in the industry for well over 15 years, what are the best practices for you here if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to build an ethical AI, or you're trying to build such operations? 3 things only. First one, or at least 3 things, not only 3 things. The first one is you need to make sure that you're qualifying and vetting your talent well. To Dr. Yusuf's point, garbage in, garbage out, right? Of course, this won't be garbage, but more, it presents itself in things like bias, right? If you, to give an example, if you get an AI and the only people who trained it, let's say were in, no, I don't want to use the place. We're in place X, let me not use it. Place X, right? And then you go and deploy it in place Y. Chances are that it's going to, all the answers it's going to give and how it's going to behave is going to take on the shape of the folks who trained it. So it's important for you to be able to vet well and make sure you have that diversity. Number 2, you want to make sure that you have very good data governance, right? So where are you getting your data? Can you trace how, the chain of custody of that data from the point of collection all the way to deployment and training your model? And then lastly, based on your data set, you want to be able to analyze it. To my point earlier about being able to have diversity to prevent bias, that's where that comes in. At Sama, we do this, again from my experience, we do this by having a diverse skill set. In fact, not only skill set, but there are multiple demographics. So for example, our business is, I think, about 60% female, like when you look at our entire business across all levels, right? And that's to make sure that in a world that leans one way, generally, we have that level of diversity. We hire generally impact meaning you don't need a degree to join Sama to do this type of work. What that does, apart from the fact that it is part of our social mission to basically get people out of poverty, what does that does that gives us a lot of diversity. Because we're focusing on impact, it means I can get someone from Nakapiripirit, someone from Chenjojo, that level of diversity. Now, so you've built this system and you're still trying to scale in Uganda. We still have some, and I thought we had someone from NITA here, but we still have some challenges that we need to go through even to harness this opportunity. And some of them are related to still the 3 things I told you. We do have really good infrastructure, but right now only about half of us have access to internet, right? Actually about 30%. Electricity is about 50% of our population. And we also obviously have the issue around the cost of devices. I know that many in industry are trying to solve for this. So for example, I think companies like MTN are trying to do similar to the US, where you do like a plan. So get the device, pay for it slowly, but by doing that, I've made it more affordable. Of course, if I'm MTN, I've also added you to my network because you're now another customer, but at least I've helped you join that economy. The second was on business environment. We still have some work to do around policies and regulatory frameworks. I know that by the end of this year, I think the Ministry of ICT should have a national AI policy. So that should help with things like AI governance and so forth. There's an issue obviously of data access. I don't know how many developers are here, but I know that for a long time, I also used to be a developer in this ecosystem, trying to get data. Say I want to build something and I want to run an API call to a particular data store and get well-structured data. It's still an issue, but I know there's already work that the government is doing there. And then of course, talent access. Now, one of the things that is happening with AI right now in terms of trends is that the simple things machines already know how to do for themselves. So if those of you who have been on internet a little bit longer, you used to do capture, where you go and say, show me a motorcycle, show me this, right? We're at a point where machines can already do that, right? That's why even some of your phones, you take a photo and tell you that was John in the photo. That was because that's already there. Where the industry is going right now in terms of talent is more what we call vertical integration. So it requires more domain-specific skills, right? Which is that if I am, let me give an example. So if I am an airline company and I want to introduce AI in my operation, chances are I want it to be very, very narrow to my particular use case. That means if it is for ticketing, the people I want to label by data and work on my data, people who have done ticketing before. If you are in agriculture, similar thing, right? Yeah, and of course there are all sorts of things that we can continue doing there, especially with academia. Now, as I close, I wanted to leave you all with 3 takeaways. So I've talked about the opportunity that is there. I've talked about the fact that we have the right to win, right? We have the infrastructure already laid, but what can we do? What can all of us here do? We still have people from policy, I think 3 groups: policy, industry, and students. So I'll start with policy. I think from a policy perspective, we need to accelerate innovation itself in policy and regulatory frameworks. I think, again, I used to be an entrepreneur, I still kind of are in this ecosystem. I know that we have to keep balancing innovation and regulation, right? Which goes first, right? If you regulate too much, you stifle innovation. But if you don't regulate, then you have innovation that comes out too quickly and ends up being harmful. 2, I think we need to support local use cases. And there are ways we can support it, better access to data. So I'm thinking data should be a public good. And it doesn't have to be run entirely by government. I'm sure there are many other people who think that through that, you can have private sector come in to try to support that. If you are in industry, you are an investor like John here, and an entrepreneur, I think one way we can support this opportunity is to fund core infrastructure. I know there's nothing wrong with funding folks who are further down the value chain, but without the core infrastructure, all this has to sit somewhere. So you're talking about energy, you're talking about compute, you're talking about connectivity, you're talking about data, right? And one way could be shared, right? The idea of sharing infrastructure is not entirely new. That's why when you're hosting services like HostGator figured out a long time ago, hey, I have this big server here. I can decide you come, one computer, one person, or I can just divide my GBs. Sorry, GBs, you come, you pay for those particular GBs. And then, of course, to support local ethical AI services. As an entrepreneur, make sure you're building ethical AI in practice and having privacy by design. But a big thing is to build for local context. Again, I keep referring to being an entrepreneur in this ecosystem. Many times we copy and paste. You go and get what is in Silicon Valley and bring it exactly here. Whereas it's not necessarily bad, I think we lose something in terms of context, right? When we are building here, we want to build multilingual because we speak many languages. You want to build with low bandwidth because we have connectivity issues. And of course, you want to have clear fallbacks. Lastly, for you as students, I think local context is probably your competitive advantage. Your local context and your expertise. Let me qualify those two things, right? The AI value chain has many parts of it. You have data somewhere. Someone has to collect the data. Someone has to curate that data. Someone then has to train that data, labeling. Now you've trained it. Someone, of course, has to train, load it into the model to train it. Someone has to validate and all those things. Of course, even further upstream in the value chain, there are things to do with hardware and all those things. We cannot play. This is honest truth, reality. We cannot, as a country, play in all those areas of the value chain, right? So, for example, hardware. It means we'll have to start manufacturing our own chips here, which will take a while. I'm not saying it will happen now, but it will take a while. But also we're in a global ecosystem where we need to be thinking about comparative advantage. What do you do better than me that I don't need to do so that you do it and I focus on what I'm good at? And that's where your local context comes in. When we were, I want to give a very clear example of that one. We had a customer many years ago who had a use case around maize. Oh, sorry, let me tell you. They wanted to, they were building a robot that could spray either a herbicide, which is to kill the weeds, or a fertilizer. And one of the challenges they were facing was that the model could not properly distinguish between barley, maize, and grass. But for you, you've grown here, right? Well, this is your local context. You know what maize looks like. Like you go in the field and like, that is maize, that is grass, right? So that's the local context I'm talking about, which is a competitive advantage because that knowledge is largely lost that side. Let me put it that way. And I think that's what I would say. Once again, thank you very much. I'm hoping that in the coming years or months, we will engage even more and share even more insights from an industry perspective. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joshua Okello, for that beautiful speech. He talked about something, that he was once a developer, and right now he's the senior director. So you never know. If you're a developer, you never know. Something might happen for you, right? Are you having a good time? Are you learning one or two? You're welcome, sir. Good to have you. And we shall be joined by the alumni, who is the CEO of Mobi Clinic, Mr. Andrew Dembe, who will join us. But yes, you can clap for him as he'll be joining us anytime soon. For now, let's hear more about the ethical AI operations and workforce development from our panel for today, moderated by Mr. Andy Omolo.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hey, is that hunger or is it boredom? What's it? Good evening. Better. Okay. AI. Everybody's talking about AI, right? Yeah. Sorry. So over the past few years, AI was something just futuristic. People didn't think it was a reality. but now it's something we use every day. Yeah, so I have a quick question for every one of you in the audience right now. Yeah, how many of you use AI chatbots like Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot? By the show of hands. By the show of hands, guys. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And with regards to, sorry. Yeah. And when it comes to AI, it doesn't stop just the chatbots. Yeah. Is there anyone who has been able to maybe build something or use more advanced form of AI? I heard people talking about being in ICT. Has anybody done that? Maybe running their own sort of LLMs in their own setup or doing something extra with AI? Okay, great. Thank you. So before I proceed, I'd like to give an opportunity to the panelists here to introduce themselves. So John, to you first.
Sure. John Bertel, Six Figure Ventures, which is the fund, and Side B is the advisor. We focus on early stage technology in this market, and we run 2 origination platforms. One is a venture studio, which builds out our own ideas, and then the second one is it's actually it's called the Hornet's Nest. It's kind of like Shark Tank. So we held our first one first Friday, Motive, 5 p.m. October 3rd, and then every month from that point forward. So that's about what we do, and of course within our portfolio, all of our investments are AI centric in terms of their use cases, and so AI is embedded throughout all of the technology that we're a part of. I'm just a little history. I've been in the market for over 22, 23 years now in Uganda. Thank you. I used to sit on the board for the American Chamber of Commerce, which is also how we know the SAMA team, and connected to the embassy across the street. And then also for about, just before coming here, I used to work for the Development Finance Corporation, which used to be called OPIC, which was the Overseas Private Investment Company from the US government into foreign countries like Uganda. And then, of course, I had my own firm for corporate advisory for over 12 years, which led into the thing that I'm doing today. And so part of our mandate here is obviously to connect and link that resource, which is capital, also to our networks overseas. And so that's a part of the work that we do. I'm originally from California, San Francisco, but Uganda is home. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Yeah, to you, Dr. Kim.
Yeah, thank you very much, moderator. Good evening, listeners and our students. Kemise Alon. I'm the Dean for the Faculty of Science and Technology. I think it is in perspective that I'm invited here. Yes, at my faculty we are engineering, or we have engineered to have AI at Cavendish University, Uganda. In fact, we started with the programs. We have 2 programs. That is Bachelor of Science in Data Science and AI, okay? And then also a diploma, and as well as next year also we shall be having data science, masters in data science and AI. I think in Uganda we are the only ones with that course.
Yeah, very cool.
And even maybe beyond East Africa, because we have attracted people beyond Uganda. I think 2 days back I had a student saying he was going to go and do his course at in Australia, but because he searched around and could not get around East Africa. So we are one-stop center of AI, and this kind of gathering is very timely. We have set a pace, not so? So Cavendish, that's how we are. And it's good that we are going to have a debate. I think we will be sharing more.
Yeah.
And what I've given you about, okay, not yet, but the theme that I've given is very nice, okay, in the context of academics.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right.
Yeah. You should clap for yourselves as a university because you have AI in the setup. Yeah, forgive me, doctor. I have to say this. We are not alone because we have you, Dr. Alone. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll pass it over to Mr. Arafat. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arafat Magezi. I know you were expecting to see our alumni. He's on his way. He will be joining you shortly. I am stepping in. I am the Chief Technology Officer at Mobi Clinic, and also I am a lead software engineer at Mobi Clinic. At Mobi Clinic, we develop health tech products. Currently, we are developing for the urban and also underserved areas, where we deliver better health care to remote areas, people who can't access hospitals. We've developed a system for them and an apps for them where we deliver health care. I am really privileged to be here among young people and hopefully to share ideas later on. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. So I was saving the best for last. I'd like to introduce myself officially. I'm Andy. Like the MC said, I'm Andy Omolo. I'm from SAMA. My official title at SAMA is Strategic Projects and Initiatives Lead. I've been in the tech industry for about 15 years, give or take. I'm hiding my age in my knees, yeah? So, with AI, like Joshua said, SAMA has about 15 years of experience. And so I would say I've also had the privilege to be working with AI for a long time as well, okay? So going in to maybe just to set the pace, I'm glad you guys have had some bit of experience with AI, okay? I'd like to start with you, John, if you don't mind, okay? Being an investor, what kind of AI innovations or skill sets are exciting investors right now?
So this may go against what Joshua said, but oftentimes I think what we look for might be a little bit different than maybe what SEMA might be doing. But I'm glad that SEMA is doing what they're doing. What's really interesting is, so as an investor, we want to see something that kind of does that, like that goes up really fast. We had a guy come to us and he said that he wanted to, use this money from us and grow his company over 3 years and hit $1 million US. That's that's like low bar, right? And so we were thinking like, okay, if you do 1 million in the first year, maybe you'll hit 10 in the second year, maybe you hit 30 in the third year, 30 million US. That's the thinking that I think you should be thinking as young people. What are the things that you could do in this market where people really want those things or those services? And how can technology be a conduit to kind of get there, and how can it replicate and do that? One of the things that somebody had come up to us and spoke about was how they can hire a bunch of new people to go out and market a bunch of services to people. And I thought to myself, well, can't you get a machine to do that? Or couldn't you get AI to do that? As opposed to hiring a bunch of people and using our money to hire those people, as opposed to using the technology to do that. And so the difference, I think, fundamentally is how can you use technology and how can you use AI to actually lower your cost factor and get out there to go ahead and find new customers at a lower cost rate than a higher cost rate. And technology should be able to do that. And so that conversation around labor is not to say that you're hiring less people, you're just hiring different people, right? You're not hiring a salesperson, you're hiring somebody who's on the technical side. That's all that's saying. So I think the whole conversation around labor and it replacing jobs, maybe in certain sectors. I think for years people have been saying that accounting is going to be like no longer existing, and yet today there's tons of accountants. Even though that technology is coming forward to a point where you can manage accounting, which it is right now, but you still need accountants to like understand it. One of the things that Dr. Youssef mentioned, Joshua also mentioned it, is somebody has to be there within your company, and this is what we're looking at as well, to go ahead and look and say, hey, that's right and that's wrong. Like, you need somebody with that competence or that knowledge to go ahead and communicate that within the company. So when I think about a lot of the opportunities that we're focused on, they're not your first level elementary ideas. I think as students here, especially in university, you definitely want to be thinking second or third tier in terms of the complexity of what it is that you're trying to do. The initial level, somebody else is going to take care of. So how can you think at that next level, and how can you develop something which is a solution at the next level? So that's what's interesting to us. One of our AI investments is in compliance AI. And this is really easy because you get a bunch of policy that you can upload into the system, and the machine will actually interpret that in the context of you as a pharmaceutical, you as a bank. You have to follow certain rules from the Bank of Uganda, or you have to follow certain rules under NDA or Ministry of Finance. And so those become really interesting because they become automated and you can replicate them really quickly. And when you think about, we also have one that's in medical claims. If you think about this in the context of claims, you know, how can you use AI to go ahead and interpret and lower the cost of what an insurer would be required to bill for in the claims process? Now, of course, you'd have to know what's happening in the claims process to like figure that out, which is what Joshua was trying to refer to in the context of domain specific. And so when you think about a lot of our investments and you think about the people that we're looking for, we want founders who have been doing something in their domain expertise or in their field for at least 5 years, hopefully 10 years. Right? So right now, at your point, you're just graduating from university, go out and figure out the thing that you really like to do and know how to do that thing well for the next 5 or 10 years. Then those are the people that we're looking at, because those are the people who are going to be able to solve the problem for the next issue, right? Those are the people that we're going to be looking for. The other thing we look for in it, obviously it has to be technology. Obviously there has to be some AI component. The thing we look for is making sure that it's a business, it's profitable, so there's product on market. You can't have an idea and come to us. You have to have the product on market. Other people have to be buying it, and you have to get those other people to make those purchases. So that's a huge component of it. So there's sort of a bottom threshold on revenue. So those are just some of the things I think that we look for from an AI perspective. If you think about what we're doing, the special sauce isn't always in the AI. The special sauce is in the business that's actually deploying the AI, and whether or not they can distribute that and find new customers to come onto their platform. That's a bigger thing than the AI itself. The AI helps, right? But just contextually speaking, that's what we look for. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully soon we'll have a lower entry level. 5 years is yeah, interesting, but yeah, thank you for that. So I think I'll move to you, Arafat, if you don't mind. So for you guys, you already have a business, so more or less you're an entrepreneur with some experience in AI, okay? So from your experience, what new opportunities are you seeing because of AI, particularly for young innovators? Because we see very many students here who definitely have a lot of potential.
Thank you so much. In the next few years, I want to meet someone and he tells me, because of what you said that day, I am an entrepreneur in AI. My colleagues, this is the right time to start right now. This is the time to be innovators. AI has come really in our generation, and this is the time to be innovators. First of all, there are very many new adventures coming up. I have a friend of mine in the UK recently, but he's Ugandan. He just created a system, an AI system for a school, where students can revise, teachers can set tests, and everything is revolving around AI. So as a young person right now, this is the time to start a new venture. For example, why aren't you right now starting an AI chatbot that for mental health? Mental health has been a challenge in young people, really. Why can't you use AI and do something about mental health for us, the young people? I leave that challenge to you. This is the time for us to come up with an innovation. Second point is we have to solve our problems here in Uganda. Our market is still virgin. The AI market is still really virgin. AI enables youth to solve problems like in our own communities. For example, you know the AI right now, there's very small AI that actually responds in Luganda, in Lunyankore, in Luo. That is as a gap. How do we make sure that we go into AI and make sure we solve our local problems in our country? This is it. We are the ones to do that. This generation, use the students, me, we are the ones. It's now. We have to begin innovating now. First of all, even the learning. Do you know that these days you do not have to have knowledge of coding to be a software engineer? For example, recently at Mobi Clinic, we were hiring a front-end engineer, but among the things I was looking out for knowledge in AI. I asked them, have you used any AI agents in your development? If the answer is no, it's somehow a red flag, because right now you need to know AI. You have to use AI. So you don't have now to have the coding skills, or I'm a back-end engineer, I know JavaScript, I know Python, I know all those things. But how do you use AI to your advantage? So us at Mobi Clinic, for example, even also in our own work, like I told you in the beginning, we develop applications for underserved areas in the Wikwe district. We use AI to make sure that it tracks symptoms of our patients in those areas. We need to know what is the commonest disease disturbing these people in these villages. So we use decisions. We use AI to give us data, which we use to make decisions in Mobi Clinic, and that is how we've been improving healthcare in underserved areas. Recently, there was a confession from one lady in the area, and told us how their lifestyle has really changed due to our innovation in that area, and also because we use community health workers. In our application, we put AI. Sometimes when these community health workers are in the area and they have a problem with their patient, they can call a doctor at Mobi Clinic for consultation, but sometimes the doctor isn't available at the moment. So we put them an AI chat, who is like an assistant, a health assistant. So one day this gentleman called Alex, I went for a training in Wikwe, and he told us, you guys made me a legit doctor in my community. I said, how? I went to a community, we were doing an outreach, and then one patient asked me a very hard question. I called Dr. Miro, but she couldn't pick up. I remembered I have an AI in my application. I went to the AI, I posed a question to the AI, and to give me an answer. I responded to the patient, and everyone clapped for me and told me I'm a very qualified doctor. So you see how AI is really changing the narrative in terms of service delivery in our local communities. To sum up to this, like I said, I call upon you. All of you are young people, are brilliant people. We can think harder. What can we solve with AI in our community? AI gives young innovators the power to shape the future. Think about it. Whatever you feel like is a problem, think about how can you use AI to solve this. Trust me, you got the way to solve it, and it will be possible with us, the young people. If you build AI that understands our people, our languages, our problems in our country, trust me, that we're going to create an inclusive growth in our communities. Please, let's begin innovating with AI. Even before you finish school, you can be an innovator with AI. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So before we go to the final panelist, there's something interesting I saw today. right? So today, I was talking to a vendor online, and he asked me to share something on WhatsApp, right? And when I wanted to start a new message, I noticed you can actually create an AI chatbot on WhatsApp. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen that feature, but it's interesting. When he talked about mental health, that's what came to mind first when I was like, okay, when I was looking through the chatbots that were already existing in the market, per se, the meta market on WhatsApp, most of them were like friends. You'd chat with them, like a digital girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay, those were the options. But it was interesting for me. I was like, mental health is something that I'm very, very interested in. Why can't I think about something similar, and it might be useful? So there are very many opportunities out there, like he said, and they're very, very interesting. Okay, so for you, Dr. Alon, from an academic lens, right? How is AI changing what students need to learn or to be exposed to?
Thank you very much. That sounds very interesting. Maybe I could use the word reshaping, not so? Yeah, AI is not only affecting the industry, but also, of course, academia is an industry, but in the academia, I could say, in some ways, like I've already told you here that we introduced programs in AI. So what does it mean? AI is influencing how we design our curriculum. That's another thing for the learner that they need to know. Shaping in the way we are designing the curriculum. And also it is helping us in shaping the students to know what is happening in the future, not so, to know what is happening in the future. But then also, AI helps us to provide personalized and individual learning. Somebody has already talked about chatbots, but maybe the simple chatbot, I could say, I don't know if maybe somebody can give me the answer. Which one is the simplest chatbot that we have? Yes? Yes? WhatsApp, not so? Yeah, WhatsApp. What we take WhatsApp? Because it's also created. Not so. What we mean by chatbot is something which is giving you seamless what? Interaction. Is it so? Huh? What is WhatsApp? Is an application. Also is built on the model of what? The chatbot, not so? So even in the academia, we are not taking it simple. The WhatsApp is integrated in our learning, in our teaching. As we are saying, it is providing personalized learning, and even it gives quick feedback, not so? Remember last time, the way teaching was, you have to wait for a teacher, not so? But right now on WhatsApp, you can reach me. Not so? You can reach me even right now. In fact, sooner or later, I'm from somewhere, one of, I think, an organization, they were using this TikTok, not so? TikTok was a joke, but now it has become a very serious one. It has become a serious one that even us in the academia, we have to use it. Not so. So it is providing us individualized attention to you. And then also, we have what we call the global equity and access. Global equity and access in terms of providing quality education. Yeah, some of you here, you are privileged that you are able to come here, but there are people in the village. Not so. But through AI, we have what we call AI-powered translation, tutoring. Okay, tutoring and accessibility. They are tools that can be used for learning opportunities. This is where we are going. I think the entrepreneur was telling you that don't look at yourselves here, but there are many people who are supposed to be here in the village there. So how can we use AI to reach the marginalized, and then also what we call multilingual. Multilingual, I think they've talked about the language. Where you are here, we are still privileged that we have to use English. but there's somebody wishing to learn who doesn't know English. So AI comes into to help us in that. So in the academia also, we are very cognizant of that. And then also, we know, all students, you have to know, all people, you have to know about the rise of data and digital literacy. The rise of data and digital literacy. And this is why initially we had to come up with a program in data science and artificial intelligence. What are the opportunities there? We are talking about data analysts, is this so? AI developers, applications, you need to know about that. But then also there is data literacy. Because the challenge we have in Africa, we always consumers, not so? So at least have the literacy, know about the technology which is there. You are not going to be an innovator, an entrepreneur, if you don't have the literacy. So as a university, we are providing that platform. We are providing the human capital. The human capital. Yeah, so you need to be aware of the rise of data and then digital literacy. And then also somebody talked about here ethics and bias. Students, you must know about it as much as you are going to develop the chatbots. Somebody was telling you here that you are going to develop a chatbot targeting only terrorists, not so? And yet we don't accept that. We don't accept that in our country. So still, as a university, we are aware of that. And actually that is the basis, as I said, we are putting up those courses. To know you should be a responsible AI person in that area, but also AI in academia, we are well aware. I think Uganda, let me take the perspective of Uganda right now where we are going. We are moving from master of content at competency-based. I think your sisters who are below you, we are going to have, I think, the group is coming 2 years to come. The competence-based that we are talking about, actually Uganda has brought competence-based timely because of AI. AI is helping us. Our thinking has been content-based, but now we are going to go to critical thinking. We are talking about critical thinking, creativity, because AI does not allow you to go below. It allows you to go up, to have critical thinking. We are talking about problem solving, not so? And it presents the opportunity, which they said it will be an entrepreneur. So it is doing that. So yeah, so there are many other things, and possibly how in the university also we are coming in to indulge in AI. AI is helping us to connect. AI is writing, data science is writing on the background of mathematics, not so, statistics. Statistics, which is providing the analysis that we are talking about. Cavendish, maybe I will talk in the capacity, I mean the context of Cavendish. AI is helping us in the analysis real time, not so? Real time, knowing the students' issues, not so? We have a platform here, Planet. I don't know, maybe the outsiders need to know that we are a leading technology university, that we have embraced technology right away from marketing. If you go on our website, there's a chat, they reply you immediately there, the chatbot that you are talking about, it is already there, not so? And then we have Planet, which is empowered still with AI. Every student we have, even right now, I should be going to know, it will give me a chat following you, the statistics how you are learning, not so? So AI, also we are not sleeping in the academia. Yeah, I think that is
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Yeah. So looking at the time, I think we have give or take a few minutes. So I'll quickly ask one question each again from the panelists here. And then I think I'll open it up to the audience for a quick 5 minutes. And then I think we can move on to something else. So just still with you, Dr. Alon, in a quick hot minute, I've had you talking about people building chatbots and all, but I feel like there's a small subset of students who might be left out in that conversation, right? So how can non-technical students take advantage of AI? Just in a quick, brief response, I think it would be very useful for the team.
It is very tricky. You-
Forgive me.
the non what? The
Technical students and non-technical students, so people who are not in computer science, besides using ChatGPT, what opportunities are there for them, and how can they take advantage of AI?
I think literally in the current world, there is the word non-technical. I think it does not exist, because all of us right now, we're in what? For example, I could say all of us, we have phones, and the phone is counted where? In the technical. So are you taking, what are you meaning by technical? So I think maybe I'll go on the other side, application, not so? The AI has helped us so much, especially on the application. It's not even, people are talking of maybe the technical is at the back end, somebody who is going to what? Who is going to design. But again, even you can use AI to beat the technical, the so-called technical, the technical person. But it's really very, because I'm coming from a technical world.
Yeah. So I'll pass it over to John briefly.
Maybe John.
Thank you.
Super simple. So there's synchronization or coordination tools that are out there. Just one simple one, and you can. This is like you can build a business in about 24 hours, like soup to nuts, with application, website, domain purchase for less than $20 in less than 24 hours today, right now, with a first customer in less than 24 hours right now. A simple tool is Notebook, right? Google Notebook is a coordination mechanism. You can add any LLM, so whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, whatever. You could add any coding language, Java, whatever, but they use Firebase. Google uses Firebase, obviously. You can use any data source, whether it's Google Docs, Google Drive, you could use OneDrive, whatever, just link it to it. And you can tell Notebook, welcome. You can tell Notebook what to do and to build a business. Say you want to build a business to sell photographs, frames or something, and you can actually kind of develop that and get customers to do that. All these tools are super easy to use. YouTube, figure it out. Like, you should be able to do it in like 2 minutes. So I think the thing that what I tend to hear, and I'd love to hear from you guys about, is what's preventing you from building it right now? What's the thing that's preventing you from watching a video for 2 minutes, doing the thing in the video, and then building a company that makes money? Like, what's the thing that's preventing you from doing that? Is it time? Is it you don't know how to search for the video on YouTube? Do you need a link? Do you think you need money? You know what I mean? Like, this stuff is free. So within a very short time, you should be able to do this with a simple tool like Notebook. And I think later on, Joshua and the team from SEM are actually going to go through and do some tool things. But this stuff is really readily accessible. It's free, and you can use it just by jumping online, and it's super free.
And maybe maybe I could say mentorship, maybe.
Okay.
The non-technical people, maybe.
Yeah.
What John has talked about,
Yeah.
mentorship. If you may think that you're not technical, I think like what John has talked, all that is mentorship with those people who know, not so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we can use that also, maybe.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from the group here, the few who have spoken, is opportunities are out there on YouTube, on these video sites. You can learn, right, and you can innovate. Yeah. So very, very exciting. So lastly, before I pass it over to the audience, okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah. I think Uganda, East Africa, and a few other markets are emerging markets, right? And I'm just curious, especially for this young crowd here, what do we see as the most exciting opportunities for students to innovate in AI? I see Movi is doing health. You've done so many with so many folk, okay, in terms of investment, John. So I'm just curious, in this market and also internationally, I see, for example, from Nigeria, from Kenya, from Uganda as well, opportunities in the fintech industry, where you see very many cool products in fintech that also are taking advantage of AI from Nigeria, and we're using them, right? Uganda probably has an opportunity as well. So what are your thoughts, guys? Anyone in the panel?
Thank you so much. Once again, AI is here and we need to use it to innovate. I'll take just less than a few seconds. We have a big opportunity here in Uganda to tap into automation. Most of our things look like they're in IT, but actually they're not automated. We can use AI to create automation and make money. Thank you.
Awesome, great. So maybe one question from the audience.
Let me just add,
Yeah.
just from the investor side.
Okay, go ahead, John.
Anything with a big data set. So if you could find a big data set, so data sets come in banks because they have a lot of customers. Data sets come from telecommunication companies because they have a lot of customers. And data sets come from healthcare companies because they have a lot of customers. So if you could find data sets where there's lots of customers, focus there. And I think automation is kind of part of that because you're doing it for multiple number of customers. So anywhere where there's big blocks of customers, telco, financial services, healthcare, I think that's a good place to start.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe also data analysis, in fact, has become what has talked about the banks. Data analysis not only in the banks, but AI is coming in. Data science, in fact, AI and data science have to work together and also. Data, because AI must run on the platform of data science. Without data, AI may not be there. So what does it mean? We need data analysts also. We need programmers. That's another thing, because it is linking these two. And then, as I said, that our businesses are still manual. Maybe the opportunity that you could have, how we can start slowly looking at business processes. Which line of business can we, for example, apply AI? Not so? Is it in HR? Is it in procurement? Is it at top management? Which business process can we identify? Or like, for example, in the university teaching, not so, we have tools that can track maybe like a class attendance. I don't know, we have heard about Kobo. Have you heard about Kobo? Kobo is an open source which you can build a building on what? On AI, data science, to provide a real-time what? A real-time information, especially to the top managers. Not
Yeah,
so?
thank you.
All those are opportunities.
Thank you so much. I wish we had more time, but one question. Is anyone having that one burning question? Okay.
Thank you. A good evening to all of us. I'm Tangshak Elia Patrick, student of Cavendish, doing Bachelor of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. Okay, my question is, today's theme is scaling ethical AI for inclusive growth. I'm going to focus at the point where there is inclusive growth. The programmers are developing AI applications, And we have happened to come to an era where AI is eliminating out at least 60% of the human labor. Today's night, we are aiming at the theme, which is scaling ethical AI for inclusive growth. My question is to the panelists, all of you, whoever can answer. How are the programmers going to aim on to reaching out to today's theme, which is scaling ethical AI for inclusive growth, such that human labor is not eliminated? Because we have to appreciate that AI is necessary, it simplifies work, but human labor shouldn't be eliminated. Thank you.
I can quickly, but I'd love more questions, by the way. So I'd love to take another question. The gentleman with the glasses. I can answer the labor one. It's quick, but let's
I
get this one.
think we can
Oh,
take
no?
all the questions and then we answer them at
Yeah,
once,
yeah,
right?
it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much, panelists. My question goes to any of us that can answer. We are looking at AI today, which is a good thing. But in the other side, if AI is to take away the jobs of tomorrow, how will we survive? That is one. Two, how do you help us as students in the academia be great people by using AI ethically as we are speaking? Because some of us use it to our advantage and sometimes the mind is not thinking. So how would you advise us to both use our mind and the mind of AI to understand exactly what I'm bringing out is going to be believed by you? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other question? That's a beautiful question. Any other question? All right. I think we can answer those two. And in case you also have a question for the keynote address, you can actually ask it at this particular time. He will also be in position to answer it.
I think no, I think it's a good question on labor. I think I kind of addressed it when I was speaking, but maybe you hadn't come. I think everyone knows the concept. I mean, people have been saying for many years that accounting professionals would be out of jobs in the next 10 years, but they said that like 20 years ago. And so when you think about it in the context of any time when we have a new technology that comes into existence, historically, we get really freaked out because we don't know what it is and we don't know the impact that it's going to have. Whether it was a vehicle, you know, a steamboat, light, airplane, right? Like Uber, and all the taxi drivers were like, oh, we're out of jobs because Uber's, and then now they're still here, right? So, I mean, I think that eventually two things are happening. One, I certainly hope that I'm able to clean my house without a human being. Like, I definitely want that. Like, my Roomba can do the floors, the washing machine can do the clothes, the dishwasher can do the dishes. I don't need, like, a maid there, right? Like, you don't need that. So, and hopefully somebody develops something where they can iron my clothes, right? Like, that's what I want. That's the dream for me. So that job is and I think this is where Arafat was speaking to, was automation. In the context that there are certain jobs, I even think like security guards, maids, drivers, that yes, I think those jobs are going to go away. I certainly hope they do. And then other jobs are going to pop up, right? Like you're going to need somebody to like tell somebody about the driver, or tell somebody about the other work that needs to be done. And those, I think, are the jobs that, so there's going to be a transition that takes place. And I think that that's just natural. And as humans, we've adopted for, I think, are we 10,000 years old? For 10,000 years, we've adapted to this. So I don't think it's really going to be an issue. That's my take on it. And the people who are investing in this stuff are looking for the skill sets where you're going to be creating tons of jobs, and you're just not looking for a maid.
Yeah, so just a quick response from Joshua.
So oh, sorry, I have to stand up. I think they're very good questions. I want to add something to maybe a tangible example to what John is saying. So one, obviously, new jobs are going to be created. But the other one is that the jobs that we have, some of the jobs that we have now are going to evolve. I want to give you some examples. Before computers, as we know them, started, do you know what a computer was? A computer was a human being, literally.
Human being. Computer is human.
Yeah, it was a human being who would come and do for you mathematics. Computers came, actual computers, the machines came, and of course at the time, those people would have thought, you know what, now I don't have a job. What changes that their role now evolved? That where I would go and do all the mathematics in my head and all these things, now I have a thing that can help me do it. So jobs evolve, right? And some of these jobs are going to evolve, but at the same time, new jobs are going to be created. I'm starting to think about another example. Oh yeah, there are students here of business, right? I'm trying to remember what they teach in business school these days. I think about Henry Ford. Anyway, so when you think about the history of business or manufacturing, as you know it, I think this is the 40s in the US. Henry Ford and all this manufacturing, the human beings used to think of it like a car plant, right? A company that manufactures cars. You used to have people, someone gets the tire off the thing, off the rail. Someone else is going to put it on. And by the way, the car is being assembled. It's an assembly line. Someone is going to keep putting something until then. You needed human beings to do that. Computers came, and now and robots, and now all that stuff happens with robotic arms. Did the human beings lose their jobs? No, their jobs just changed. Now your job is in quality assurance, because you want to make sure you no longer have to go tie the bolt. You're just saying, hey, did this machine tie the bolt properly, right? Are there defects? Are all these things? So I know the worry is there for jobs, in short, but just know they're going to evolve. Now, what can you do? The big, and I'm passionate about this, one of the biggest skills you can have in the 21st century is being adaptable and learning. That's it. Keep learning, right? People used to, I want to give one last example. When Microsoft Excel came and all these PowerPoint things, companies started hiring and saying, you must know how to use Microsoft Excel. You must know how to use, you've seen this on these job adverts. That thing is going to change. We are now going to say, yeah, Excel, that is a ground level. Can you use this tool to make you 2 times more productive? I think that's what I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's it from us, but I'll give the doctor and Arafat as well, just 30 seconds each. 30 seconds, please.
I think the quickest I can give is about a calculator. A calculator, when it came, was first resisted. Not so? It was resisted. But it was coming in to help. Right now, there are calculators. Even right now, you're allowed to go with the calculator in what? In the classroom. Has it taken away my job as a teacher? So what does it mean? As you said today, you just need to catch up. Be adaptable. In fact, that's why I was contesting about that technical. What I mean by technical, please. Today, I think all of us, we must be in that world. Like, for example, you're talking about the 21st century skills. The first one, digital. The digital skill. You must know how to use the internet. Second, the interpersonal skill. They will not take away your job, because getting a job is a network, not so? And then communication, okay? So AI is just a tool, not so?
Yeah.
It's a tool, like the car, not so? You can imagine if we didn't have an aeroplane, how could John reach here from America? Yeah, how could John come here?
He would swim.
And in fact, is here we are benefiting from what? From John, because of that house, the aeroplane, a moving house, not so? So even AI is a tool that is coming in. So please don't fear. that is going to come and what? You are not going to get a job. In fact, me in tech, I need more things to come, not so?
Yeah.
So that when they come, they put pressure on you, and we think, not so? Of course, it's a philosophy. At my PhD, we did a paper called Computing Philosophy, whereby there was a debate. There are those who are saying the computer and the human being, which one is going to take the other and over? Is it the human being or the computer? It can't be a computer. If a human being seizes, a computer also is going to seize, because it is the human being who is making what? The computer. Right now, there are drones. Yeah. In fact, the war, like for example, in wars, we are going to move away from the wars of people. It is going to be technology. You have heard about drones. What is happening in Russia? The guy is not here, but I'm just coming here to sit and design what? So what we have to do is to accept, not so, because it is coming into ease. Because me, like for example, in the army, I don't want to lose 20 of my people. You hit the drone, and my people remain, not so. So we have to agree, to be ready, to be adaptive.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor. Arafat, 10 seconds. Doctor took some of your time.
It's very interesting.
Thank you so much. 2 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with a senior developer at Glovo in Spain. And along the way, we said, you know, AI has taken away junior developer jobs. Even you who is finishing university, you are a junior. So we said, how do these guys go through to this? Because the junior devs, everything you do as a junior dev, an AI agent can do it. So how do you make sure that you will stay relevant even after school? That's why I'm happy that you're here to listen to this, because you have to take advantage of these tools. Once you take advantage of these tools, you will stay relevant in the industry. And one more thing is, it will take away the developer tools, junior developer tools, solid jobs for juniors who don't embrace AI. But also, AI is going to breed a lot of innovators. So I implore you to take advantage of AI agent. Whatever AI comes out, make sure by the time you leave school, you combine your skills and AI skills. Otherwise, junior devs don't have jobs right now. That is the bitter truth. But you are in the right place right now, and thank you.
What I've taken away from Arafat's parting shot is, he said, I employ you. So he's given you guys jobs. So yeah, so I'll pass it back to the MC. Thank you, the panelists. And it was very, very wonderful. And I hope you guys learned a lot.
Thank you so much to the panelists. Thank you so much for that. That has been amazing. All right. I hope we are still alert, and I hope we are still having a good time. Now, we have one of us. He was here at Cavendish University, just like me. I was also here at Cavendish University, and he's actually the founder and CEO of a Mobi Clinic. That is Mr. Andrew Dembe. Could you just say hi to us in 30 seconds, and then we move on?
Good evening, everyone. I'm very excited to be here, and very happy that Cavendish continues to be a leading technology university. I remember very well when I was at law school, before the pandemic, we had already gone digital, and many universities got affected by the pandemic, but we weren't disrupted. So I like the prudent manner in which Cavendish does its things. So please listen to these AI conversations, you know, because the future is here, you know, and in the next 20 years, the world is still going to be tech. It's going to be tech, voting will be electronic, so many things will change. and it's now your chance to start thinking. Yeah, I don't have much to say, a lot has been said, but I'm the CEO at Mobi Clinic, and my colleague Arafat stood in for me so well, and we are very excited to be part of this. Maybe what I want to say is that we also have a new product called Your Clinic, which is a digital marketplace for all your medical services. You can download the app, booking with doctors. You can have virtual interfaces, but you can also pick any clinic, hospital, health provider of your choice on there. So yeah, we're very grateful to Cavendish for having produced some of us who are already in the marketplace doing these things. So please support your alumnus by downloading that app. It is your clinic. YOKLINIC. Please download. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Andrew. And indeed, success begins at Cavendish. You can see the products Cavendish University is producing. That can be you, that is me, that is Andrew. All right. How are you doing? How are you doing, guys? Hey, what's up? Huh? Are we still here or we are totally somewhere else? All right. Before we move on to the next thing, we're going to do, what we were doing earlier on, a simple chat here and there. We're going to play our game again. Still AI related. Today we are talking, it's an AI night. So we are talking everything AI. And I do have only 1 or 2 questions, depending on how we answer them. And I'd love to hear from you. Okay, here's the question. We're ready, eh? We're ready. Okay. Who is known as the father of AI? Who is known as the father of AI? Let me start with this gentleman. Sir.
Alan Turing.
Alan?
Turing. Hey, my colleague Aaron, BSc.
All right. He says Alan
Turing.
Turing. Do you agree with him or you have a different answer? Anyone who says Alan is the answer? You say Alan is the answer. You say Alan is the answer? What is the answer?
It's Jeffrey Hinton.
Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Hinton.
Jeffrey Hinton. Do we agree with Jeffrey Hinton or Alan? Jeffrey Hinton. Anyone with a different answer? I'd love to hear. All right.
John McAfee.
John McAfee. We have Alan, we have John, we have, I've even forgotten? Jeffrey. Any other person with a different answer? Who is the father of AI, guys? Yes, you want to try? You both want to try? You can actually try.
Sam Altman. Sam Altman.
Sam Altman. Huh. Okay, I'm hearing names for the very first time. Interesting. Anyone with a different answer? Who is the father of AI, guys? Who do you think is the father of AI? You have no idea. All right. That's still okay. Yes, please.
John McCarthy.
John McCarthy. Okay. Do you want to try using AI?
Marvin Minsky.
Marvin Minsky. I'm hearing names for the very first time. Interesting. Anyone else with a different answer? Okay. Who is the father of AI?
John M.C. Curry.
John M.C. Curry. Whew, whew, whew. It's getting serious, eh? All answers are correct. Anyway, let's try using AI and find out. Yeah. Let's all use AI now. You can get your phone, ask who is known as the father of AI or who is the father of AI.
I've written her name, okay. But I don't have much other details. What she does.
Have we gotten something? What is AI saying? We no longer say what Google is saying. We now say what is AI saying. Do we have the same answer or we have different answers? Okay. Have you asked AI?
No.
You didn't ask AI. Have you asked AI?
Still asking.
Still asking. Okay, who has asked AI?
John McCarthy. It's John McCarthy.
John McCarthy. Is that the answer? Is that what AI is saying to all of us? We agree? Hey, someone is disagreeing. For you, what is your AI saying?
McCarthy. John McCarthy.
Okay, I think that is what each and everyone's AI is saying. And indeed, that name, John McCarthy, is actually known as the father of AI. We learn one or two things each and every day. All right? Amazing. Thank you so much for, being with us here, and we are still going on. And a quick reminder, my name is Riff, in case you came in when I'd already introduced myself. My name is Riff, and I am from Cavendish. I was at Cavendish 2017 to 2020. I am that class that never saw the physical graduation, unfortunately, or fortunately. Yeah. And I'm an MC. This is what I do. I did journalism and communication studies from here, and currently I'm a radio host and also an MC and an actor. Product of Cavendish. Indeed, success begins. That is it. At this particular moment, let me invite our Dean for the Faculty of Science and Technology to invite our guest of honor, and then we get into the next phase.
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing me back at the pulpit here. I think my job is simple, is to invite our guest of honor, who is Miss Beatrice Nabu Kenya, who is a digital transformation analyst and is working at NITA, Uganda. NITA is a National Information Technology Authority. So if we are on air right now, it is NITA. If we are using internet, it is NITA. So maybe as she's in Cavendish, possibly, she will add us some bandwidth, possibly, maybe. So we need to welcome her. Please welcome Miss Beatrice, who is our guest of honor.
Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dr. Kim. Yes, that request is going to be granted, definitely. Good evening. Hello, students. How are you doing? You okay? Welcome on this night. As introduced, my name is Beatrice Nabukenya. I've been doing IT for 14 years. Yes, so many years. However, today is a good opportunity for you. When we were in school, we never had such opportunities. You know, people talking to you about different things, emerging technologies. I think this is a very good opportunity for you. To be honest, what I was about to say has been spoken. Mr. Joshua made an excellent observation on artificial intelligence and what it is. Okay. Yes. So our distinguished guests, the Dean, Cavendish University, thank you for the invitation to your faculty here on Gaba Road. Again, as introduced, my name is Beatrice Nabukenya. I'm a digital transformation analyst. What that means is that I'm using technologies, cloud, AI, blockchain, internet, to transform businesses, to change how businesses do, to make businesses think how they can do things differently. Now, today we're talking about artificial intelligence. I hope we know that AI means machines are thinking like human beings. Basically, that's what we are saying. Machines are thinking like us. So if they are thinking like us, that means they shouldn't overtake take us because we give them the commands. We tell them how to behave. We tell them how to think. So as I'm standing here, it's a privilege to be here. I think the topic you have today couldn't come at a better time. The issue of ethical AI. Because AI is redefining how we live, how we work, how we interact, and it's across the globe. We are using it to transform economies. We are using it to create new jobs, improve public service delivery, which is what we do at NITAU. And also, it is reshaping how we behave. Now, the National IT Authority is mandated within Uganda to promote ICT. So we do the heavy lifting. We provide the enabling environment. We give you the internet. We give you the laws, the cybersecurity laws, cybersecurity frameworks, data protection and privacy, so that your data is secure. Electronic signatures. Do you know that nowadays you have a mobile app and you can withdraw money from your bank to your mobile phone, and your money becomes a mobile, and your money becomes a wallet, e-wallet. The laws that help us to do that are defined within NITAU. Now, for you as the youth, AI has many opportunities and also provides with a lot of responsibilities. Now, opportunities are many. The thing about AI is that we need to know that we need to innovate from our surroundings. What do we know? We know how to do agriculture as a country. We know how to help farmers. Can we predict weather? Can we prevent crops from dying? There's a there are farmers nowadays within Uganda who use AI to predict health of animals. So animals swallow a micro camera or micro sensor. So the animal has a sensor, the farmer has a tab, and is able to know within the information provided how the animals are faring in terms of vitamins, minerals, what are they lacking, how is the milk production. That's what we need to use AI for. We need to drive health solutions like that has been mentioned today, mental health. How do we help citizens to access solutions when they're in remote villages? How do we help our grandmothers, our aunts and uncles in the village? Those are the solutions we need to be thinking about, things that are solutions that are local within our country. Education. There are very many use cases we can use education for. How do we personalize training? Say you wanted to have a course on, let's say, SQL databases, or you want to do some networking. Do you have portals you can use, and they can personalize the training for your own need? That's what we have to be focusing on. The issue to create local content, I think, has been mentioned. The local solutions are what we need. The most important thing now we need, I think, as a country, is how to translate and talk to each other. Last week, an AI company called Sunbird launched its own AI called Sunflower. And what it is doing, it is translating over 20 languages, Luo, Lusoga, Nyankole, Lugisu, what, and it's able to translate these languages into any other language, Korean, French, English. These are things that we need to be doing at this point in time. Yes, I know you're students and you're thinking, this one, we are still students. Yes, you're still students. However, you need to be able to imagine what it is that it can be able to do. Now, of course, it's important to know that AI has many challenges. The first thing that we have, or we lack as a country, is computing power. Now, out of the global index, a study has been done that Africa has only 2% of computing power needed to run artificial intelligence workloads, sandboxes, frameworks. So that is a challenge that we're having. The second thing is privacy. Now, as I know, as students, we're thinking about privacy, and you're like, that is not important, but it is. Imagine you had your classmates know your information about your status. So and so is pregnant. So and so checked. So and so. Okay, that is normal. But there are things that people shouldn't know about you. People shouldn't know who you are. As a person, they should know your name. That's all. But they shouldn't know private things about you. So privacy is very key in AI. Now, in the future, what we are predicting, things to do with social media monitoring, which I think will be happening very soon or will take place. Police surveillance. Nowadays, you walk around, there are cameras everywhere. Now, it is your right as students to know that when police is surveilling as you walk, how secure is your data? Can they misuse it? Can they say you are somewhere and yet you are not and present it in court? Can that happen? Do we know? Do we inquire? Are we curious to know how our data that is being collected, how is it being guarded? We are curious, and I think these are some of the concerns we should be thinking about. Now, when you're designing systems, these are some of the things you should also be thinking about. Now, the other most important thing is inclusivity. Now, as we are designing AI, it's important to know, to include gender-specific initiatives. When you're collecting data, do you have women in your collection group? When you're developing, do you have female developers on your team? That is very important. We launched a product one time in CUU, and we were trying to do UAT testing. We were trying to test if it works. And the developers who did the solution were all men. So as part of the process to onboard ourselves on this solution, we were requested to wink. Now, I don't know if you don't know, but most women can't wink. Now, our developers were men, and they didn't know. Until we reached the meeting and told them no. Who developed the solution? Like, okay, for inclusivity, we need women. Because the women will be able to say, okay, this is not working. I can't wink, but the developers couldn't know that women couldn't wink. Okay, most of us couldn't wink in the test. So inclusivity is important. Why is it important? It helps us also to identify biases. Bias means that you are put out a solution. However, it's only effective on identifying certain people. For example, the things of facial recognition using AI, when they first brought solutions in Africa, we identified quickly that the solutions couldn't identify black faces because the data being used is all developed by whites. Not because they were being biased or discriminatory against us, but because that's the data they had. So how can we get data that is reflecting of our features, of our information, of our own memories, of our own culture? Now, our culture is very important. The reason that's why the topic is ethics is because ethics are the norms of society. These are things we run with, these are things we know. For example, in African cultures, we believe in community, sharing. What concerns your neighbor matters to you. Yet for the models that are normally European or based, they tend to be individualistic. It's me and myself. Yet here we know that doesn't probably work. So how do you, when you're developing your solution, how do you put that into effect? To know that I'm developing a solution for my local Ugandan, and these are the things I need to put into place. Just to conclude, we need ethical guidelines, things that help us to know that this is wrong. We know for a fact that in our country, let's say abortion is wrong. But when you on the media with Western media like CNN and Al Jazeera, they're talking about it as a right. The woman has a right to her body. Woman has a right, and they are right. But now if you're developing a solution for African context, how do you apply that? Knowing that you are African, the ethics, the norms of your society are very different from the norms of society of what it is you're trying to develop. So this is why it's important to question what works in my society, what works in my country. So we must provide innovations that have strong morals. The morals of Africa are many. That is why when you're developing AI systems, it is not good for developers to do them alone. You need people that are doing sociology. You need people that are thinking outside of the box. You need people that are doing psychology, people that study human mind, human behavior. There was a question about how me, who is a non-IT person, how can I work with this AI? Your role is to give a different perspective. Developers and programmers are always thinking ones and zeros. This is right, this is wrong. However, you, a non-technical person, someone who's doing agriculture or business, you're thinking, how does this work in a business context? So, for you, the young people today, you are the future of the country. Embrace the technologies, but let the ethics of the things you know to be right and wrong to be able to guide in your design. Now, the skills you need are many. Remember, when you're doing AI, we are looking at the three facets. You have data, so you're collecting data. People collect data, people who are doing data entry, they collect data, they are doing sociology, and they are reading people. So those people are also going to always be needed. After you collect the data, you clean it. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. Data that goes into an AI model needs to be clean. When data is available, you need computing. So you need people who have information on how to build computing models. People who maintain computers, who maintain data centers, who maintain your internet. All those are still needed. So it's not only AI. AI works within a space of other technologies. Now, maybe we can talk about what government can do or what it has done in terms of AI. So we are providing the laws and policies. It's important to know that the infrastructure is needed. You need internet. You need that space to run your computing AI application. You need to put it somewhere. You host it. We need to provide enabling environment for innovation. So that's government, and we have to do that. The most important thing, as we're talking about AI, from a government perspective, it's important that you know that outside of maybe your university, Cavendish, there are people who don't know how to use a computer. So digital literacy is very, very, very important. So just to conclude, you are the future of the country. Utilize the technology to empower your citizens. The technology should be used to solve the challenges around you. That is the best way how you'll be able to innovate, because you're innovating from a space of a need. I've seen this problem. How can I solve it? That is the better way. So let us work together for AI, or ethical AI, for inclusive growth, and build a future where every Ugandan youth have an opportunity to innovate, contribute, and thrive. Most importantly, keep learning and continue to adapt. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Beatrice Kenya, for that beautiful, beautiful talk. Now, as we are coming towards the end, yeah, we have something. Please, there's a meal coming up. Yes, yeah, people, it's a meal. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I want to see those who will just walk away. But before we get to that, students, kindly, there is an opportunity for you at summer source, yeah, irrespective of the course. You could be in IT, you could be in BBA, journalism, whatever it is. Kindly pass by at the table towards the end. You will find a very beautiful lady who will show you how to be part of this opportunity. Make it a point to network. Make it a point to talk to a person before you leave this place. And of course, there's a meal that will be coming up later on. At this particular moment, I'd love to invite our ED, Yes. Should I even mention his name? We already know him. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, MC. Yeah, for inviting me to come at this time and make a few remarks. Good evening, our dear students. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. I stood at the back because I wanted to see the sunset. Yeah, as I listened to the presenters. And I appreciate the organizers today for a very colorful inaugural AI night. Hopefully one of many that are to come and help us understand many aspects of, the emerging technologies around AI. I would like to recognize our guest of honor, Beatrice Naukenya, and thank you for the presentation and for inspiring our young people. And then, of course, our facilitators, Joshua Okello, a very much sought after thought leader in the area of AI entrepreneurship from Summersource. And I had a chance to talk to some of your colleagues at the back, Flavia and Andy. So you are well represented tonight. We thank you. The usual suspect, John Brito from Side B Partners, Side B Group. Thank you for making the connections, some of which we're enjoying tonight, and also for always sparing your time to come around. Let me tell you, if John were to tell you how much he charges per hour, you guys would take this thing far more seriously than you probably are. Or Joshua. Then of course I know we had Andrew from Moby Clinic, and then our much liked dean, Dr. Alon Kimwise, the Dean of the Faculty of Socioeconomic Sciences. Dr. Yusuf Katono, is he still here? The Deputy Dean of the Faculty of Business. Thank you for the representation. Thank you for for challenging our young people and educating them. We thank you as individuals, but also as organizations. So please pass our gratitude back to your organization. Whether it is Summersource, whether it is NITAU, whether it is Moby Clinic, etc. I would like to recognize our staff who tonight organized this very, very attractive event. Natasha, Edison, Bernard, Mary. Yeah, thank you for clapping for them. From our Dean of Students Office and our Careers and Employability Office, from our Innovations and Entrepreneurship Office. The Guild leadership, I know they are always very invested in these kind of events. Is the Guild president here? But there must be some of the Guild leaders. You can put up your hand, at least, so we recognize you. The Guild leaders. Thank you. Great. Nice to see you there. And all our guests that are present here that I haven't mentioned, not least our MC. The MC, I want to give him some work very soon. He's a very capable guy. And he's a graduate of this institution. He's working in the media space, so he's home. I bring you greetings from our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Olive Sabiti. I was with her a few moments ago. She has been having a conference that she's been attending yesterday and today. but she's very much aware about what's happening, and she's probably following online, like many others, hopefully. And the Deputy Vice Chancellor as well, Professor Olutayo Osunsan. He's away on his annual leave, but he's also probably following wherever he is in the Caribbean. Yeah, the theme today, I think, was very opportune: scaling ethical AI operations in Uganda and building a skilled workforce for the digital economy. Until I had a chance to visit Samasos, I didn't know that, AI had gone that far already in this country. Remote working, global outsourcing. So it means that, and when I spoke with Joshua, he told me the numbers he was working with, the locations where they are based. You wouldn't believe, I don't know whether he told you that they have a big office in Kamocha, and they have a big office in Gulu. They have even bigger offices in Nairobi and elsewhere. And you, as students, you could go and put this in your village. Yeah? Literally in your village, in Kalungu, in Kotido, and create work as long as the skills have been developed to do the kind of remote work that is expected. As I see it, there are 5 T's that I can see at play here. And some of them are sitting, with the facilitators of tonight's event, and some are probably sitting with you students. These are gifts that we have. They also present opportunities. The first is time. Young people tend to have a lot of time. That is a big wealth that you have, which, old people may not have. Like me, I may not have as much time as you have. So that gives you an opportunity to be productive if you choose. Instead of burning time, just whiling and chatting, you could actually make money if you talked to some of the business partners, thanks to the technology that has been presented to us today, some of which is demoed around. So let's think about how we could use our time more profitably. The second, of course, is talent. We have talent. At Cavendish, we develop a lot of talent. You know very well that we are a very technology-enabled university. Everybody at Cavendish, particularly after COVID, has a chance to experience blended learning, meaning you have got an account, you access the learning management system. I'm aware that we also provide additional, by the way, the learning management system is like 3rd generation here. In this market, it's probably I saw Beatrice looking a bit surprised. When I say 3rd generation, means that we've come from 1st generation where people were using papers for distance learning. You come here for 2 weeks at the beginning of the term. You go to class with, you're given notes, you discuss, then you go for like 10 weeks of self-study, and then you come back. So that's 1st generation. Then we had a 2nd generation that involved technology, but for example, it was not AI powered. Now we have what is that 3rd generation that is AI powered. It's got a visually intuitive interface. It can read how well the student is progressing with their studies and respond in terms of pointing them to what they could do, generating reports for the teacher to be able to assist, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so, but I also know that we have some other technologies that we use. For example, Coursera. Who of you has done a course on Coursera? Many of you. Well, okay. Yeah, we offer Coursera for our students, and there you can access 8,000 plus courses. I know in this country we are probably the first university to have that opportunity. We also offer Ripen, which is the world's largest. By the way, Coursera is the world's largest massive open online course provider. Did you know that? Then we've also given you access to Ripen, which is the world's largest work-based learning platform, which gives you opportunities to do case studies, which are live. They are real live case studies out there put by industries that have issues. And it gives you many opportunities. First of all, to practice your digital skills, improve your opportunities for referencing what you have done, because when we leave university, many times we have an empty CV, literally. But with Ripen, you'd be able to at least say you have done a project for Coca-Cola, which is like this was the problem, this was the solution, and that would count for you. All these are AI powered. All the time we are looking for opportunities to expand mobility for you, whether it is studying or work. I just came out of a meeting a few hours ago that could potentially explode your chances across the world. Our students, if I were you, I would clap for that. Just watch this space in a few months from now. You'll understand what I'm talking about. The other one, of course, is the treasure. The treasure meaning the finance that our partners, our university have plowed in making this happen and are committed to making this happen further. But now you as students, you have something that I think you can contribute. So those are the first three T's: talent, time, and treasure. You can contribute your thoughts. The thoughts, that's the mindset. The mindset is a powerful thing. You are literally what you think. If you think you can, go to the end of the world, you will get there. There is a famous saying that anybody given all the time in the world would reach the moon. Yeah? If you have the right mindset, if that's what you want to do. And I believe in it. I have seen people do crazy things. So let us embrace AI. Let's use it responsibly. Let's challenge ourselves. Let's not fear these things. Let's take charge by changing our thoughts. And then, of course, the other T, the final T, is ties. Ties, like the networks that these kind of things present for all of us. I told you already that you are in the midst of very powerful industry practitioners. Don't let them go away empty. Yeah? My first job, I got it by calling up a person who had visited the university as an industry practitioner. He came to give a talk. And then he left. He gave out business cards to everybody and left. He was a Dane. Do they call them Danes or Danish? That run a big company in Nairobi, big companies. And so 2 months after graduation, after I had gotten tired of sleeping, I went and looked for that business card, and I had no phone, so I went to my dad and I called him, and he responded, and he made an appointment to speak to him the next day at 10 a.m. So I had to go to my dad's office. And strange enough, he told me, go to an office. There was an office in town. Go and pick a ticket and come to Nairobi in 2 days' time. And voila, I got my job. So you could be talking to somebody who could change your life. That's what I'm saying. The T, ties. Yeah, I would like to, again, thank those who have facilitated tonight's show, gotten us to dig deeper on AI, think how we could develop our talents to match, and also to use AI responsibly. And I hope we have also understood the impact it can create, for example, in terms of jobs that can be made available for far-placed individuals. We always talk about youth unemployment. And Africa is going to become a major supplier of jobs in the next few years. By 2030, there will be a significant contribution. By 2050, you will have, majority of the workforce as African. So embrace technology, embrace mobility by working remotely, but also looking at opportunities to open and work across borders. By developing your skills. Yesterday I met a gentleman who studied social sciences. He's like done many things. You almost think he's nowhere, but he's able to do many things. Then I met another gentleman. He did medicine, then he did law, and people were wondering, medicine, law? And he further upgraded law, and today he's a global leader in medical law. There's something called medical law. But all of these things are getting digitalized. Yeah, this is the thing. So it's not the traditional education the way we had it. A lot of these things are all getting digitalized. Our university is a leader and a visionary when it comes to new forms of education, but also new areas of education like AI. Did you know that we're the first to put out programs in AI and data science? And we're planning more yet. I hope that your time at the university, you've found that we use the AI that we are currently using responsibly, because we are committed for that. We are also committed to granting access. That's why everybody here is able to use technology and access it from anywhere, from more than 40 countries in 4 continents. I'm sure all of you have a different nationality in your class. Is there anybody who is only studying with one nationality? One person who only has one nationality in your class? There isn't. Yeah, that's one unique thing about Cavendish that people don't know. We have East Africa's largest international student population. We are collaborating with many partners in the area of AI, and very soon, one of our teaching staff is actually running a project to develop content using AI. because currently it takes us a long time. It requires a lot of, pulling and pushing with consultants, and yet all of that could actually be done using AI. Can you imagine? So we will make your life easy when we develop new content. I'd like to thank, in closing, everybody for putting your own brick to tonight's inaugural AI night. And I hope that this is just the start of what hopefully will be many more as we continue to show you our value as a university that helps to prepare each one of you for gainful employment and entrepreneurship in a global setup. And I thank you for listening to me, and I wish you the best with your demos, with the rest of the interaction, and with the dinner coming up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. David Motabanura, our ED. Yes, and like he has said, make it a point to network. Yeah, talk to Miss Beatrice, talk to Mr. Kello, talk to Mr. Andrew, talk to Mr. John Brito, and each and everyone, please make it a point to network, get the contacts, and of course, pass by at the there's a table right there. Pass by that table that has a computer. Summersource has something for you. You see where Madam Natasha is and where Andy is. Yes, there. Kindly pass by that table after, and then there's an opportunity. It doesn't matter whether you are an IT student, BBA, whatever it is. There's something for you. You never know, that could be a starting point for you to get into, this thing. Otherwise, thank you so much. You've been a very beautiful audience. You have, interacted. You've been so good. And I also think I did well, right? I did well. Thank you so much. Now we are going to get into the next phase. In Uganda, for Ugandans, they call it Kasozi Naria. Yeah, and that is the food part. We are getting to the dinner, and the ushers led by Daniel right there will show us how we are going to have our dinner. So the ushers will, help us. Kindly stay seated where you are until they come and pick you up, and then we have our dinner, and then enjoy the rest of the evening. Otherwise, thank you so much. Have a blessed evening. Yeah, we shall dance, and as we are getting into the food, let's pray for the meals as the first phase of the people go. I'd love to have a Muslim pray for us. Yeah, because we had a Christian earlier on. Anyway, any volunteer? Pastor, let's give an opportunity to other people.
Anyway, praise the Lord. I'm privileged to give have this opportunity to pray.
Closing prayer.
A closing prayer. Okay. Loving Father, would we humble ourselves and pray? Firstly, for the food, because they love it very much. Loving Father, we just want to thank you for the meal. In Jesus' name, amen. Loving Father, we want to thank you for this great opportunity of AI, and we embrace it. Father, we thank you for the opportunity that we have in this generation. And we pray that we use our AI to profit our nation. And we believe our nation as a first-class nation in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.